Good morning. Make sure the microphone's on. Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 535. Welcome to the weekend. It's Saturday. I'm wearing the old classic WWF hoodie because it is WrestleMania weekend. We've got 2 nights of WrestleMania. I don't like 2 nights of WrestleMania. I'm more of a one night traditionalist. Sunday. My ideal WrestleMania would be like an all day Sunday affair, like start at noon with whatever, and then just go on and be done by 9 p.m. because I go to bed I go to bed early. I think the Royal Rumble, it was like almost midnight by the time the Royal Rumble ended. So and I was passed out by that time. So I like an all day, like have an all day affair. And I know logistically that's probably not in the best interests of all involved, especially if you're there. Do you want to sit in a chair for 9 hours? So I get it. I get it, but from a standpoint of just in and out watching throughout the day, kind of like the Super Bowl, where the Super Bowl is like an all day affair. And WrestleMania is the Super Bowl of wrestling. And I can just have it on as background noise. They do stories, there's concerts, there's all the glitz and glamour of a big event, and then start the wrestling at 4 5, but be done by 9 p.m. Central, which is really weird when you're on the West Coast. And I get it. Being in Arizona, it's like I'd get back to the hotel and it's like prime time's almost over already. And it's like the game's already over. But here during baseball season, when it's a West Coast start time, it's 9:05 Central Time, only 7:05 out on the West Coast. Anyway, I digress. WrestleMania 2 nights, Saturday, Sunday. Herman is with me. What's up, Herman? Good morning. So that's my thoughts. I haven't really looked at the card. I'm not penciling in time to watch WrestleMania this weekend. I'll have it on like as background. My fantasy baseball draft is tonight, so I'll probably have. I don't know if I'll be. Actually, I'll probably just take all my computer stuff into the rec room. I'll have WrestleMania on mute tonight as I draft. So or on. Actually, I don't have to have it on mute. So anyway, what's up? It's the weekend. Are you doing any card shows? I am not. I'm just still, always in catch-up mode, especially being gone for a week. Doing some listing and shipping. Was able to get both accomplished yesterday. Listed about 200 cards in my eBay store. Did a big baseball file exchange update. Trying to get over 11,000 listings back. After dipping down, my numbers are down, which was expected. Being on vacation mode for a week, my impressions are way down. I was hovering around. I was averaging right before I left. I was averaging around 14.3 million impressions over a 30-day period. That number this morning is down to 12.8 million. So a lot of that has to do with the combination of being on vacation mode plus not listing any items for over a week. So I wanted to get a bunch of items listed just to boost and get that traffic going again. So I actually, and speaking of spring training, I was crunching numbers this week because my ideal, like my dream vacation, this is super silly. My wife laughs. My dream vacation, no, it's not some fancy trip to Europe or around the world. It is driving across country to watch baseball. So my ideal trip is to rent an RV. Actually, I'd like to own an RV, but I don't want the upkeep, maintenance, storage. I live in Wisconsin, so then you have to winterize. So I think I've just decided to if I do this trip, I'll rent an RV, drive to Arizona next spring. I was crunching the numbers, and it comes out about based on current pricing. So if I did the trip like right now, it comes out about equal to renting a car for a week, plane tickets, and hotel for for a week. In fact, so my trip would be a little longer by RV because I've got to add days. So if I did the same, so if I rent the RV for like 12 days, 12 nights of hotel, it would actually skew. Now there's also, fuel involved as well. So it's probably comes out about the same. So that's kind of the plan. But I need to. So a buddy of mine who big grapher was out at spring training the week that I was there. He actually, him and his wife, he has like a gigantic RV, and him and his wife, they live in the RV and they just drive they drive to the Southwest and spend their winters down there, and they'll make their way back to the Midwest this spring, and they'll take like a northern route to visit like Idaho and Utah and South Dakota. So I'm gonna have to get some tips on you know the RV because I think I'm gonna do it next year. I think I'm gonna do the RV, rent an RV. It's like Camp USA or um, uh, Cruise America, I think. And there's a location in Rockford, so I'd have to drive to Rockford, pick it up. So John brings up a great point. Every time I've priced RVs for vacations, it's been more expensive than airfare and hotels. So that is a good point because when I priced them out, I priced it out was it last year or several months ago? I think it was for this recent trip I did. And it actually did. You're right. It actually did come out more expensive. But for whatever reason, it was less this time around. I plugged in all the numbers through their website, and it came out less than I anticipated. It actually, now I splurged on my hotel this year, where last time I went to spring training, I paid like $70 a night. I stayed in a crap hotel. So I did splurge and I stayed at the Marriott, and it was about 190 a night. So with that involved, my rental car was actually less. I drove a much nicer rental car this time than 2 years ago when I went. And then the plane tickets were a little more expensive than because when I priced it out last time, I based it on 2020 pricing, pre-pandemic, right before COVID hit. So the numbers were a little skewed. My hotel rates were much less than this year because I stayed in a crappy hotel last time. Rental prices, I think the rental car ended up being around the same, and I used Turo this time around as opposed to going through Costco last time I went. And then the airfare was less 2 years ago than what I paid for last week's trip. Plus, location of RV lots is not consistent, particularly when visiting urban areas. That's one thing that I need to get some advice on because my plan was, for the most part, Walmart parking lots. I think you can park in Walmart parking lots for free, but that's, what do you call that? Dry camping. So I've got to look into, okay, do I have to find an RV lot where I can park this and do all that? Is it feasible? I've never driven an RV before, so I'm a newbie when it all comes to this. So there's a lot of research before I actually plan it. Plus, it's like, yeah, it's like a dream to drive across country, but I've been on buses. I've done the bus thing when I worked in college athletics, and it sucks. Although I did enjoy, I would have preferred, especially on like in shorter is like 8 hours. I would have preferred to take a bus for 8 hours as opposed to a flight, because when it's all said and done, you've got to get there early. You've got to wait. And when where we were at, it was like a bus ride. It was like an hour bus ride to the airport, and then you wait. And then we had to catch a connecting flight in Chicago or Minneapolis. So there's another flight. And then you land and you've got a bus to your destination. And it was like an 8-hour trip could be an entire day just based on where our location was. So I would have preferred to just take an 8, 9, 10-hour bus ride as opposed to planes, trains, and automobiles for a short trip like that. Uh, John says, if you're going to national parks and such, then I suppose there is no better way than an RV. So my thing is, and you can probably give me some insight into this. I don't plan on national, like I'm not like a vacation guy. Like my plan, this is my plan. And I know you're gonna say, and I know what people will say, just take a plane. If it's the same price, just take a plane. Um, but it's kind of been like a dream road trip, and I just want to do it once to experience it, and I know I'll probably hate it. And so if say I do this in 2023 and it's like, why in the hell did I do this? I'm driving home after spending a week in the sun drinking beer and eating crap food for an entire week, and now I have to drive 2,000 miles home, and I'm thinking every mile of the way, why in the hell did I just not do a flight? So um that's probably, so maybe it's just I just keep it as a dream. I don't know. I'm like, it's a constant battle in my head on whether or not I should do this. But I keep thinking of the positives of what I could do. I could buy a bunch of cards and transport them back, and not have to worry about keeping my luggage under 50 pounds to put on the plane, not have to go through airport security and deal with all that crap. So that's but then again, I'm having to drive 2,000 miles one way. It's like 1,800 miles to Phoenix. So that's I'm going to continue pricing it, and I probably will just it's just so much easier in the long run. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass to fly, but in the long run, it's a lot easier than driving 2,000 miles one way. John says, we had a passenger van when I was 12 and took 6 weeks driving to every corner of the country. It was awesome, but an RV would have been better. We camped. And that's what when I was a kid, my parents had a custom one of those like Chevy Scottsdale conversion vans. I don't even know if it was a conversion van, but it had like, I mean, in 1985, it was like top of the line, nice stereo. It had, one of those small, like 8-inch TVs, black and white, had a refrigerator, shag carpet, had like the little half moon window at the back, had what do you call it? Like the McDonald's, uh, like booth had like the booth seating that went into a bed. We never traveled in it. Like we didn't start taking family vacations until I was like getting close to being a teenager. But it would have been cool to travel in that van, just short Midwest trips, I guess. But the difference between you and I, Bo, is that I am a destination person. You enjoy the journeys in life. I guess that's true. That's a good point. Like my quest to collect a million cards, I don't care, but like I actually don't want to reach a million cards because the journey to get there and the people I meet and the cards that I acquire along the way is the most enjoyment I get. It's not the destination for me of a million Cubs baseball cards. It's the journey to get there. Serial killer van. Yes, it was totally because it was. I'll have to find a picture of it. It was maroon. I missed that thing. I think the transmission blew up or something. But it was maroon Chevy Scottsdale, no windows except for the half moon in the back, shag carpet. Oh man, it was so cool. So I was probably only like 6 or 7 when it blew up. Um, and then had my parents had boring vehicles the rest of the way, except my dad did restore a classic '69 Chevy pickup truck. We had bench seats and 3 teenage boys. Brutal. I grew up in only. I have siblings, but they were much older, so I grew up an only child. So my vacations, it was just me. So yeah, so that's like my big plan. I'd love to do that, but who knows? At some point it's like I just want to get there. Sometimes I'm a destination person where it's just like just get me there. Like that's why I take direct flights. I don't enjoy the journey when it comes to flying. I hate flights, and I will pay a few $100s more to get that direct flight because I don't want to jump on two different planes. I hate flying. Um, so that my parents only went through divorce proceedings twice during the trip. Nice. Dr, what's up? Good morning to you. Terry, good morning to you. So yesterday, I yesterday when I went on live in the morning, I said it's Friday. It's like it's retail day, but I'm not planning on making any retail runs. Well, that changed. I get upgrades on every flight. Spoiled rotten. Yes, you are. I paid for upgrades on my flight out there. I flew first class out there, first time ever flying first class. It was a game changer, and I I wanted to upgrade on the way back, but on those flights, there's like what 8, 10, 12 first class seats, so there was nothing available. But I was able to get so close yet so far away. I had an aisle seat. Uh, with that wall that uh, uh, differentiates between first class and coach. So I was so close, but I had to upgrade like twice to get to that seat, um, and pay for it. Bulkhead, there you go, the bulkhead. Um, so yeah, so yesterday I ended up making some retail runs because my wife tells me so. Friends of ours are moving. Um, and so she is on both sides of the deal. They're buying a house nearby. They're having kids, twins, I think. So one of them was staying here for like the afternoon while their house was showing. So I'm like, well, I'm just gonna leave. I'll just leave the house and I had to get a fresh cut, um, and decided, well, it's Friday, might as well make a retail run, see what's out there. So I went to the main Walmart that has like the best selection of retail of cards, and it must have just been stocked because it was pretty full. There were no well, there might have been a couple empty spaces, but it was like pretty full. Football was there, basketball was there, baseball was there. By the way, Topps Heritage Blasters were there. I had my fix of Heritage. I got the hobby box at my card show a couple of weeks ago. So they had blasters, but 24.98 this time around. So they did raise the prices on Topps blasters. We know Panini uh, uh, charged are charging more for their retail products, but now Topps blasters, which it should have been raised, in my opinion, to $25 several years ago because they've been $20 blasters since like 2008, 2010, somewhere in there. So it was due for an increase, and I think $25 is fair. I mean, honestly, I think it should have been raised to $25 back in like 2013. And then we probably should have seen another raise to 30 or 35 on blasters within the last couple years. But if you go like, I mean, people are even upset with Panini blasters going from 20 to 27, $28. I think 25 is more than fair. Um, Bo, I was in a small mart in California last week and thought of you. First time for me. There you go. A small mart. I like it. I love that word. I skipped my small mart. There's the closest Walmart is a small mart. That's just a few miles from my house, but their card section kind of sucks. It was my honey hole at one time because it had never been stocked. It was like they never stocked it, and then all of a sudden they started stocking it, and nobody realized it. And this was pre-pandemic, so I was able to get some good stuff. And then of course the pandemic hit. Everybody's hitting up all of the retail stores. So I went to the bigger Walmart, and again it was like fully stocked. Um, I had my fix of Heritage, so I turned down the blasters. They had a whole bunch there. Um, but I did pick up just for a rainy day. I wanted something to rip like immediately. But I just the Heritage just didn't do it for me. Series one is old hat now, so I didn't feel like opening that. Opening day is not my thing, and of course that's the only base products that have been released to this point at retail. So I ended up picking up. They had Illusions mega boxes, which Illusions has been out for a while now. They had Donruss mega boxes and fat packs. So I ended up they had like 5 or 6 Donruss mega boxes. I bought one, and then I bought they had football, they had playbook and playoff maybe. So I bought a what did I buy for? I think I just bought a couple packs. It wasn't blasters. I think they were like fat packs of playbook football. And again, football we're well in the off season. Basketball, it's kind of one of those. I'm just gonna save it. I bought. They also had the NBA hoops holiday blasters, which I bought 2 of those a few weeks ago or a month ago. And I'm gonna save that for a rainy day. So I'm just like adding to my sealed wax product. So I'm just gonna set it aside, and we'll see what it does once football season hits. Maybe next basketball season for the basketball products, and maybe on a rainy day, maybe Christmas. I don't know. I'll do some rips. Let's see. Dr says, what will stop Fanatics from selling hobby boxes to big box retail? Probably nothing. I mean, they're in the driver's seat, so I think we're going to see a lot of changes as we from what we know now. For Fanatics. But I mean, Fanatics owns Tops now, so conceivably they could do it right now. They're not, but that it's still fairly new in the process. So it'll be interesting to see what the next few years brings with the Fanatics deal. Now with football and basketball, that's still what at least 3 years out, 4 years I think, before Fanatics gets the basketball and football licenses. John says, why would they cut another retailer in on their action? And John, that's a great point. Like, why would they sell to big box retail when they have a great distribution on their own, and sell it on their own website? I'm with John on that. Like, there's no reason to cut in a retailer when they put it on their website and they get all of the profit. So yeah, I'm totally with you. I think Walmart and Target get no more cards. I think that's definitely in the realm of possibility. As far as what we know now with football, baseball, basketball, I think the Walmart and Target card sections in 5 years could look very different, where you see only Upper Deck and Leaf, and what else is out there? It could be just hockey, and what else does Upper Deck have? It could be just your card section could just be Fairfield boxes, because that's not that's not a Tops or any company. So you could see just Fairfield boxes, the mystery boxes, Upper Deck hockey, and Leaf and Wild Card. And that's about it. And actually, if you go to stores now, it's starting to look like that. Well, and mainly because we're in the off season, but there's a ton of Wild Card and Leaf products on my Walmart shelves. So we could start seeing that transition fairly soon. Let's see. John adds, my normal PSA, buy the gifts, Fanatics gift cards at Costco. Exactly. So you can buy, and I've had issues trying to do this. You can buy $50 gift cards to Fanatics on the Costco website for $40. I think what's the limit on those? 10? I think you can only buy 10 at a time. But it's a great deal. And I've tried to take advantage of that a few times, but for whatever reason, it hasn't been accepting. And I know I've mentioned that on the show previously, where you have to use the Costco card, and I use the Costco, my membership card. And I don't have a Costco credit card. Maybe I don't think that's the issue. But I've used several different credit card, not several, but a few different credit cards to try to land those gift cards, and they just get canceled, and I don't know why. Let's see. Distributors are the dark corner of the industry. I agree with that. I was trying to figure out how Fanatics might cut out the old stingy local card shops. I think they'll cut out the the low volume type of local card shops. I think those card shops that have a good relationship with fanatics, I think there's going to be a movement toward, just like Tops. If you look at Tops, Tops has like official card shops that they do business with. Like not every card shop, and I think it's like a range. I think like within a 30-mile range or 60-mile range or whatever it is, you can only have one local card shop, brick and mortar, that's like a Tops dealer, like National Baseball Card Day. Like only Tops dealers get the cards for National Baseball Card Day. So the local card shop here in Madison isn't even a brick and mortar anymore, but they still have the Tops dealership, so they still have the National Baseball Card Day. And I think to keep it, like he runs his business out of his garage basically, and he does card shows. It's kind of a wild setup, but the only brick and mortar shop here in Madison doesn't have that deal. In fact, he doesn't. He was never ordering enough wax to even get allotments of product. So then he went to buying retail off of flippers, and that's another story in its own. So, um, let's see. John adds, good point, and that has an effect on UD bottom line as traffic to the stores from hobbyists will be down. In bed, Dan. What's up, Dan? We've talked about that. They're branded CC, but any debit will work. Um, so John, is it any debit card will work, but not credit card? Only the Costco credit card works, but a debit card will work. Maybe that's the issue because I've just been trying to put it on a couple different credit cards, but they're not the branded Costco credit cards. Um, if that's the case, I'll try that. Playing in a softball league this summer, won our first game today. Nice. We need a Yelp-like LCS database. I would rather support a small town LCS that is good for their community than the LCS by me. I'm kind of with you. It's kind of hard to determine like what type of I guess it would go on a Yelp-like rating system. Um, did you play Little League ball? I sure did. I played for until I got to high school because we didn't have a high school baseball team. And we didn't even have the option. Like later on, we co-opt with another high school, but it was long after I graduated. But yeah, I played. We had Little League, and that was like you were the Cubs, Cardinals, White Sox, and then we had what was called like City League, which was I think that was like Little League was I don't even know what we had different leagues, and I don't know. I know like the Little League organization is certain ages, but we had Little League, and that was like when you were little, and then you kind of advance from like T-ball to coach pitch, and then I think that's where Little League ended. Was Little League was coach pitch, and then you moved into City League, and that was player pitch. Um, and then I think that was like 3 years, and then we had like Babe Ruth League, Pony League, Babe Ruth League, um, and then it went into high school ball. Any debit card will work. Only the brand. Okay, there's my issue. There's my issue. I was not using my debit card, but I was trying to use a non-branded credit card. So I will try that again. Thoughts on the White Sox trading Kimbrel? As a Sox fan, I miss Nick Madrigal. It'll be weird to see him in the Cubby blue. I guess I wasn't surprised that the Sox traded Kimbrel. It's kind of it would be sorry, I had to run to the ice machine down the hall. It wasn't surprising now that the Sox traded Kimbrel, but if I was a White Sox fan, it is a disappointing trade because yeah, you lose Madrigal to get a couple months of Kimbrel, who wasn't very good. And then you trade Kimbrel and you get who did they get for Kimbrel? Pollock, AJ Pollock, was that who they received? So I mean, we don't know. Like AJ Pollock could do really well with the White Sox this season. So it all may be a moot point. I'm excited that Nick Madrigal is in the Cubby blue. He was not very fan friendly, by the way, at spring training. He like ignored all fans, kids and adults alike. So, I mean, and I get it. Like maybe I was out there a week and I didn't see him interact with anybody. That may not be the case all the time. Maybe I didn't see him at other times. But anyway, I'm excited as a player because Nick Madrigal offers something in the lineup for the Cubs that we haven't had in recent years. So I'm excited to have Madrigal in the lineup. Glad he's healthy, and look forward to see what he can do for the Cubs. Dan says, "Where did you travel? Where did you travel to now?" Um, I don't know if that question is for me or that's probably for John. I thought I was in Little League until I realized we were in a Fugazi local rec league. My youth baseball career was a fraud. Yeah, I don't think when you mentioned that, I don't think we were like an officially recognized Little League. I think we were also a Fugazi local rec league. We did travel in City League, like our local like Little League, what I think is considered Little League for where I grew up. It was just you played. It was like all the kids from your town, and then it was divided up into like four teams. It was small towns, and you just played each other for a month. So you played the same team 7 times. But then City League, we actually, I think we traveled in City League. Maybe City League was also the same. I can't remember. But we did travel like once we got to like junior high age, then we traveled to local, just in a small circuit, like basically tri-county, I guess. So today I wanted to talk about some of the new Topps products. We've got some Chrome for football and basketball. Now it's not NBA, NFL, football. I'm kind of excited to see Bowman Chrome U football, college football. The checklist, I went over the checklist again this morning, and it wasn't. There's not as many like big names outside of a few quarterbacks than what I thought as far as like how you look at the NFL mock drafts. But the big names are there is in terms of the position players, the skill positions. DJ Ugalele, the Clemson quarterback, is on the checklist. C.J. Stroud from Ohio State, Bryce Young, Matt Corral, Bo Nix, Graham Mertz from here in Wisconsin, my Badgers, wide receiver Chris Olave. Who else? We've got Tua's brother, who I believe John can probably steer me in the right direction. I believe Tua's brother plays at Virginia Tech. Is that correct? Taulia Tagovailoa. Spencer Rattler, who really fell off the face of the earth. He was kind of the big name quarterback. If you remember, he was a signer, an autograph signer at the National last summer for Oklahoma, and he just did not play well and ended up transferring, I think, to Texas Tech. Malik Willis, he's kind of the small school quarterback who's expected to go top 10. He is, I think, from Liberty University. Let's see. Michael Penix Jr., I think he's an Indiana Hoosier. Desmond Ritter, another big name, the upcoming draft. So those are some of the big names. Kenny Pickett. Let's see. I'm just going through the checklist to pick out names. Sam Howell, another top quarterback from North Carolina. Braylon Allen. I believe that Braylon Allen is our running back here at Wisconsin. So some big names on the checklist for Bowman Chrome U. I actually put 3 boxes. Now, hobby boxes are $180 each. So that's the retail price, plus you're going to pay shipping and tax. So you're probably looking at about $200 a box after it's all said and done shipped. 96 cards per box. So you're paying about $2 a card for these cards. 2 autographs per box, but you may pull autographs of guys that aren't very good. The good thing is the checklist is only 100 cards. So the chances of pulling a decent autograph is pretty good. There's also some inserts. The autograph, you've got the Big Kahuna autograph parallels where that's a pretty short list. The prospect autographs, now that's a longer list. Um, and there's some names on here that, probably won't turn out. So I thought about it. I put 3 in my cart. Did not. Tua's brother is at Maryland. Okay, Matt, thank you. At Maryland. John says, I'm in Blacksburg, Virginia, visiting my son at Virginia Tech. There you go. Nice. This explains my stats aren't in Baseball Reference. This is how old I am. We played in corduroys. Wow. Dan, you too. Have a great weekend. So Bowman Chrome U, I'm excited about this product because it is the first like Bowman Chrome hobby product from Topps. Yes, it is college. Not only is it college, but the uniforms are airbrushed because, as we know, Panini has the NCAA license. Plus, I think these are all NIL contracts through Topps and the individual athletes. And I believe they cannot use on an NIL contract even the NCAA license with Panini, I believe, does not supersede that NIL contract. So any type of NIL card cannot feature a player in a college uniform, even if it's a Panini product. That's how I understand it, and why Panini hasn't done any cards of their NIL signees in college uniform for like the tournament, for example. So not only are they college cards, but there's no the uniforms are airbrushed. But it's the first Chrome product. You get the first Bowman Chrome of a player. Will that be better than their first? It'll be Panini, so it'll be like their first Prism card. Where will the market settle on these type of products? And that's why I think it's the ultimate gamble, because we don't know how the hobby, how the community will take these. They look unlicensed. While they are licensed through each individual athlete, they're not licensed by, the NCAA, I guess, for example. And they're not in pro uniforms. And we know already the hobby doesn't care for non-pro uniformed cards. We have Prism draft picks. It's Prism, and the hobby just doesn't, I find, when I look at quarter boxes, it's filled with these Prism draft picks for football and basketball. And, they just don't move. So that's my concern with Bowman Chrome U, is that it's kind of the way we've always done it. The way we've always thought has been, we don't like these cards in college uniforms. So will that, continue to be the case with a product such as this? On the other hand, maybe that changes with the NIL. Maybe these NIL cards become the new first Bowman. And maybe the hobby reacts positively to the NIL cards. So, and this is the first. You look back at like Prism basketball, the very first year of Prism basketball, and how much those sell for. It could be this could be you could be on the ground floor of a huge turn in the hobby. But again, if we're reactive, it's just another airbrushed product in a college uniform. Well, they're not in a pro uniform. It's pre-rookie, and we don't really look positively at pre-rookie cards, especially in college / airbrushed uniforms. So if we're reactive, it's just nobody's going to want these. But if we're proactive, we could see this could be. And how do you make you make your money on that speculation? And that's why people are speculating on these new things. And this could be the next big thing. So if you're proactive and it turns out, you could be on the ground floor. So that's my thinking. Now, with all that said, full disclosure, while I did put 3 hobby boxes in my cart, that's the max you can put, I ended up not pulling the trigger. And I'm not going to buy Bowman Chrome U because I just have too many concerns that it's not going to be the next big thing. So that's my thought. Overtime Elite, same. I'm neither bullish nor bearish on either product. Overtime Elite Chrome and Bowman Chrome U. I'm not bullish, but I'm not bearish. I'm somewhere in the middle because I just don't know. I don't know how the hobby is going to react to these NIL. And I'm sure there's people taking a gamble on these products thinking these could be the next big thing. And it very well could be, but it could just be another flop. So for that reason, I'm out, as the Shark Tank would say. So I am not pulling the trigger on these, and that's just my in this current time. I'll step back. Maybe in 2 years, 3 years, the hobby takes charge, and NIL is these cards are the big thing. And I'll look back and it's like, man, I probably should have pulled the trigger on those 3 hobby boxes and didn't. So that's where I stand today. Neither bullish nor bearish, and I'm just not going to pull the trigger on these. John says, I was worried about you, Bo, after yesterday's Twitter nonsense. I tried to have your back, but apparently the dude has blocked me. Proud of my first block. Well, you and about thousands and thousands of other people on Twitter. He's a very negative person, and has a lot of issues, and just it's one of those block and move on. So you're not missing anything. You're not missing anything. So that's what I wanted to chat about that today. Bowman Chrome U, Overtime Elite Chrome. I think it's cool that we see football and basketball, especially these up and comers, possible up and coming talents, on a Bowman Chrome card. I love Bowman. I'm looking forward to 2022 Bowman baseball, which should be out in a couple of weeks. So that's where I'm at. So today, no card show for me. There is a card show over in Oak Creek, Wisconsin. So if you're in like the Milwaukee area, it's definitely a great show to check out. My April 30th card show is filling up fast. I'm nearly sold out, 120 tables. I reached out to the venue. I'm like, hey, did the other ballroom cancel yet? I think at the wedding, so I don't think I want the wedding to be called off. But in the event it is called off, let me know because I'll take that room also. So 120 tables, and we're nearly sold out. 2 floors, going to be a great time. I'm not setting up just because it's my friends will be in town. I'll have some friends in town, so I'll get to meet up with a bunch of people, and just I'll get to walk the floor and just take care of my dealers. So it's going to be a fun time. April 30th, Madison Card Show. It's going to be a monster. April 30th, 9 to 3, Sheraton Hotel on John Nolan Drive. Can't wait. Going to be a fun show. In between time, I'll be at the Northern Illinois Card Show next Saturday, a week from today. That's in Rockford at the Rock Church on Harrison Avenue. Looking forward to that one. I'll have my quarter boxes, my dollar boxes. So next Saturday in Rockford. That's all for today. Thanks for tuning in. Great chat. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll chat again tomorrow.